I thought it would be kind of interesting in the pattern of tracks I've covered at this point with Mortemia to shake up my expectations a bit with his work, given that the pattern of what I've experienced with all the previous 8 tracks that covered at this point of this channel of his have all featured a collaborative artist. This work, it's a bit older in terms of its release date, but not too old that it's sort of like, way beyond its years. And still be songs I will say in the future, to me, I don't think they're being old at all. I think they're quite transcendent works from what I've heard from him. But at this point, again, all the songs I feature on this channel are incorporating a collaborative artist. This one isn't. This is strictly just Mortemia for The One I Once Was. And while we've heard at least some semblances of how good of it he is as a singer in the metal scene in previous works, we've never really heard him in full on one track. We've certainly heard his music capabilities, and he is a very gifted musician. Maybe for some of you this video serves as a first introduction. You're like, I've never heard of Mortemia before. One-man Norwegian Gothic symphonic metal artist. Basically think, if you're familiar with American music, the Owl City of metal. That's this guy. He's from, I believe, Sirenia, and from my understanding, he's kind of adopted the model that group has in its foundation into his own works. And his works have been quite pleasurable. He's a very equipped and extremely talented metal artist in the European scene. Within the European Music Library, of course, there's so much talent in that realm of the world. I've spotlighted many artists on this channel and will continue to. In particular, to gauge perhaps with other metal fans who are looking for music that maybe the names are unfamiliar to you, but you have this yearning on your heart to find artists that are quite capable. And perhaps from a more diverse standpoint from what your main playlist might offer. I'm thinking, let's say, for example, of people who are very familiarized with American music, my friends group, even though I don't really have too many metalheads in my social circle, I do try and compel people to, go check out names. I recommend many quite often, and I tend to get blank stares of all the groups I mention. Pretty much that's the entirety of the groups that I cover or listen to when it comes to European talent. I get the blank stares, automatically. But I do hope at some level that I can provide on this channel, given how much I love covering music and spotlighting this form of entertainment. It really is the favorite art form, and the many types that I feature in coverage here. It's the one art form that I've wanted to bring into a grander focus, because it really is a first love for me in many ways. And the European Music Library, I fell into this deep romance with for so long at this point. My phone's almost out of space at this point, too, given how many tracks I keep adding on from all the different European talents countrywide, or countries-wide, really. I hope to provide in this channel a bit of a segue for you to discover new talent that might be unfamiliar to you, should you have that yearning to find artists that their talents might seem more elusive because you don't necessarily know where to look. I'm providing, to the best of my ability, a doorway of access based on my own familiarity. And Mortemia is more than satisfying. As a symphonic metal fan specifically, his music really appeals to me. Quite a great range of instruments and invention with his work. Such a beautiful atmosphere. Even his screaming, he sounds like a more metal-esque artist. He certainly has that appeal to him. The gothic flair always provides a nice dimension. His videos themselves have such beautiful capturings of nature. He really is such a talented artist that I'm very happy to have stumbled across his work. Let's consult one of his original pieces, where he's by himself as the artist. I'm going to go ahead and cue up the video. We can take a look at this, and I don't believe the lyrics are provided as part of the piece. That's sort of been the pattern today, that all the videos I've looked at from him, because I've been catching up on some Mortemia coverage, all of them are provided with lyrics. If you're not familiar with the way I manage my music coverage here, I like to provide every accommodation possible for audience members to suit your tastes. Should you like to read the lyrics as we proceed for the piece, I will have the lyrics superimposed into the video at the bottom of the screen, and they'll track along with the song as we proceed forward. And with that stated, let's go ahead and listen to The One I Once Was and get a perspective from Mortemia's works in the earlier days. Hang on, here we go. Some beautiful illustrations. I feel like I'm listening to a orchestral choir. Sounds like he got some collaborations in here in terms of maybe vocal extras. Maybe that's all him. Some appearances. Good arrangement. Good scale of notes there. Beautiful pattern. Those screaming echoes are beautiful. Okay, so the choir openers, those are more serving as the chorus. Okay, that gives him a chance to just stage more of an appearance in the verses, manage the instrumental side. It's a beautiful tune. I guess he's kind of obviously in that. Again, I question, like, are all those vocal extras? Maybe he's kind of spearheading those the backgrounds, but it sounds like different voices to me.
I summoned the strength in me. I call upon who I used to be. I summoned the strength inside. But it's just no longer apart.
And I don't mind at all that I'm a little more isolated in regard to my social circle because I'm a metalhead. This is the type of music that appeals instantly. Especially with the guttural. It's just, I don't have much of a presence in particular with that element of my playlist, so it's nice to bring one on. Especially with the European atmosphere to it, and it's certainly stressed in his voice. I can hear it. Oh, that! Oh, I like that breakdown. That was good. I was gonna say guitar solo, but pretty much like the entire thing has been that. For the most part. I guess a more prominent staging of one. I mean, when you hear other metal rock songs, that's sort of the presence of a guitar solo entry. This strings interlude really is good too. Good segue back in. Again, Mortemia is excellent in terms of his transitional phrases. He's got some really good ones on his works. Really satisfactory. Okay, I like those jumps. I was kind of questioning, like, do I want it to linger on longer? No, that's fine. At least in the way the stage, the initial. I will say if there's a story to this video, I'm kind of missing it. I mean, I can certainly see the historical presence. That's not lost on me, but I was focusing more so on the song. It's a beautiful piece, and again, like I've said, this is, for those of you who, again, are unfamiliar with Mortemia, one-man guy in terms of his metal artistry from what I've heard, even though there was some vocal involvement from others here, obviously. Or maybe that was all him. It sounded to me, again, like different vocalists, like a medley. But beautifully paced track. I mean, beautiful riffs, this, which was pretty much existent like for the entirety of the track. I mean, that guitar solo segue, again, like I said, does fit kind of the expectation of what you would expect in other types of artists in the way that they stage that portion of the music and the way that they'll transition into that area. But the little subtle phrases like that one, like right before the last iteration of the chorus, the constant jumps, beautiful. His vocals, too, again, the more guttural range, just excellent. I love having that presence on my metal playlists, and Mortemia really is, like I said, a featured talent. And it is a bit different, at least to listen to this one, where he is really the only artist in focus, and he's not sharing the stage, which has been a great experience, by the way. Again, I love the way he's approached the collaborative efforts. It's been really cool, like I've said, to be able to gauge new artists through that are unfamiliar to me, as well as perhaps hear, again, a blend of voices that might seem at first a bit apart in style until you hear the way that the tune is staged and how he positions himself in the pieces. It always works so well as a fitting accompaniment, and the artists always bring their A game. So does Mortemia. Every time. I'm just so impressed by him. And again, like I've said, I've been dying to, for a long time now, expand my European metal library, and it's been an absolute pleasure the last couple of months. And going forward, of course, I'm sure that experience will continue in covering Mortemia. But getting a bit of a different perspective here in terms of him just being the solo artist of presence, he really is quite the talent, isn't he? I would imagine that for some of you, that is the lingering emotion that you have concerning this work, that you are yearning to discover more like him. Again, if you're a symphonic metal fan, I'm sure that this was appealing to you. Let me know your thoughts down below, and whatever angle you cover, I'd be interested to hear it as well. Maybe for some of you, Mortemia was an existent name within your library. Maybe for some of you, it's a fresh one. I'd love to hear perhaps your considerations and your thoughts overall on the one I once was. Like I've said, I was kind of scaling back with this work in regards to the date. I've been a bit behind in covering some of his works, and I wanted to get back onto speed with it. But I have been keeping up to speed with his newer stuff. The most recent of which has been the unveiling of the new album, the COVID Aftermath Sessions, to serve as the subsequent follow-up to the Pandemic Pandemonium Sessions, which was beautiful. And I will continue going forward. Like I've said, at this point, I've already covered the first single featuring Federica Lana, the Madonna cover for Frozen, which is a beautiful rendition. And should there be more work, because of course there will be, that was the pattern of the Pandemic Pandemonium Sessions. I can imagine with the COVID Aftermath Sessions, it's going to fit the same pattern. Mortemia will definitely have a place here on this channel. And again, like I said, I'd love to be able to explore new talents, and I imagine going forward, if his tunes on that collection of songs, that collaborative pattern is going to be a mainstay. But it's nice to see him in a solo presence here. Again, concerning one of his older pieces, but beautiful just the same. And again, a track that really speaks to his talents in the metal scene. Mortemia really is, in my opinion, a very special name. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.